Kyrie Irving coming to stomp on a leprechaun near you after he stomps on the Cleveland Cavaliers. He scores 34 points on an incredible 12 of 15 shooting. The Nets take down the Cavs 115-108 to secure the 7 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They will, of course, take on the Boston Celtics. Joining me now from Locked On Nets, Adam Armbrecht. And Adam, let's start with this Cavs game and we'll get to the matchup here. What can we take from this game as we push forward to the playoffs?
Kyrie Irving's pretty good. Listen, sure. I think if you give him a couple of years, he could really round himself into form and be a high-level prospect. Listen, you know, we talked about it over on the podcast, Doug and myself. There was no point. This one ebbed and flowed. Certainly Cleveland got within single digits there in the second half and into the fourth quarter, but there didn't have any sense of doubt here, and it's because we know the NBA is predicated on the superstar talent. When you have Kevin Durant, when you have Kyrie Irving, and when he seemingly decides, hey, play-in game, playoffs on the line, I'm going to go ahead and lock myself in here and just go 12 for 12 to start the game and kind of take a couple of chuckers there on the back end. But he's an elite high-level talent, and we say it so often, a point guard like this, being able to accomplish that consistently on the offensive end. It's not like Kevin Durant who can tower over you. This is a guy that gets the job done in spite of a lot of heavy defenses, and it, at least for the moment, lets the NBA and the Eastern Conference know the Brooklyn Nets are going to be as challenging as you thought they would have at the start of the year.
So what kind of challenge do you think they present to the Boston Celtics, who have been the best team in basketball in the year 2022, basically? I mean, they have been unbelievable this in the second half, especially this season. So what do you like from a matchup standpoint here?
Yeah, I think, again, when you come out of this Cleveland game and really the back end of the season here, there's been a couple of supporting players. Bruce Brown, who certainly has shown an all-around game here. Have to see if Seth Curry can be 100% healthy on that ankle. And then even Nicholas Claxton. The supporting cast is kind of what matters, not more, but you know what Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are capable of. The question is, can you take a Nicholas Claxton and sick him on a Jason Tatum for X number of possessions to buy Kevin Durant some rest on that end of the floor? When you have elite, consistent perimeter shooters like Seth Curry, the spacing remains open here. So, you know, I think this team, unlike last year, even with having James Harden, is certainly more balanced, right? They have more consistent players behind now, just 2 superstars, but it makes it possible, knowing that Time Lord is not going to be available for the Boston Celtics, for the Nets to look across here and really feel like they have a handful of plus matchups they can go to on a possession-to-possession basis.
What would be most concerning for Nets fans in this matchup?
Jason Tatum's playing the best basketball of his career, right? Jaylen Brown is playing excellent. Marcus Smart is known to be a defensive irritant. And, you know, even a guy like Al Horford, he's a veteran player who's capable of doing things from the outside and on the interior that at the very least, you can always kind of hang on the balance here, cleaning the glass, working the boards. If you can get Nicholas Claxton, Andre Drummond into some early foul trouble, that presents some depth issues for the Brooklyn Nets, certainly. But are you going to be able to slow down or limit Jason Tatum? Or is this the type of matchup when you look and say, this is superstars against superstars, and then again, the secondary matchups need to win the day here. So consistency, that's all I think you really have the concern now going into this series. Can everyone top to bottom on the Nets roster be consistent over a 5, 6, 7 game series? If so, I feel, from afar here, a few days away, confident going into this matchup with Boston.